what I want to do here, I'm just going to show you the two entrances of these two sleeping bags. This one is a conventional hooded sleeping bag. This is they're both PhD. This is the M degree. This is the Delta Race. The design of them is effectively the same in that the top part is baffled on both, but the bottom on both of them is stitched through for lightness. Time will tell as to how effective I find the sewn through section. So this one is a 10 degree sleeping bag, 10 degree centigrade sleeping bag, and I've used it down to about 11 degrees and I was okay with it. I think much colder than that, it's, you know, it'll start getting a bit too cold, because it really is quite minimalistic. You know, even now I can see, because it's so minimalistic, there's like a gap there, and then some of the down has come over here, so you might just need to give it a little bit of a shake just to get that down, you know, spread out. The M degree has the traditional sort of, I don't know whether this is called a mummy hood or what, but it's that traditional style hood. The Delta Race has this very open hood, so it doesn't really have a hood, but in all honesty, when you cinch it up, you know, like that, then you can kind of get a hood of sorts out of it. When I first got this one, this is a 3 degree centigrade bag. I'd ordered wide, and I was thinking, because this is so wide here, that maybe I'd ordered the wrong one, or that something had happened. But actually this is the same width. It's the same. I always go for wide. I did have a few conversations with them, and I did try the standard size as well, but I just found that with the standard size, it was just a bit too claustrophobic for me. It definitely taught me that I need to have wide. Obviously with wide, then you do lose, you know, a little bit of the insulating properties, because it's not as snug on you. But to be fair, by the time I've kind of got in it, and it kind of just drops around you, so I don't really find it a problem. Like I said, with the Delta Race, it's exactly the same as the other one in that it's baffled on the top, but underneath it's sewn through. The only, I don't know whether PhD will watch one of my videos, the only thing that I would maybe like, and it would add a few grams to be fair, but the only thing is that maybe these ones here, or maybe just like half of these, to have them baffled, because I just find sometimes when I'm turning over or I'm moving, then, you know, it does rise up this way a little. So I am finding that I have to just make sure that it is, you know, as flat on each side as possible, which to be honest isn't a real problem, and obviously it is a weight saving thing, so that's a minor thing. It's just something to watch out for if you do use this. You know, try to keep the base on the ground and then try and keep the top over you, and it does work fine. You just have to keep an eye on it, otherwise when you turn over, if you're a bit of a tosser and a turner, you can find you got, you know, half of the baffles on top of you and then half of the sewn through bit on top of you, and obviously this bit down here isn't as warm, and sometimes if you just move a little bit, you know, it would kind of be nice if this was baffled. But having said that, obviously, you know, this is quite thin here because it's, you know, it's a 10-degree bag, so there's not very much down in there. But these have got, you know, clearly, you know, there's a lot more down in these. They're very nice. I wish I'd have known what the temperature was last night, because I did get a tiny bit cool in it. But like I said, I'm a cold sleeper anyway, and I'm guessing it went down to about 8 degrees. Which makes sense, because I like to add about 5 degrees as a minimum to a sleeping bag. So, you know, I did put something on. And again, by going for wide, one, that gives me comfort, and two, if I do need to put something extra on for a little extra warmth, like some leggings or a light down jacket or something, then I'm not compressing what I'm wearing, and I'm not compressing. What I love with down is I love squishing it. Yeah, so basically, anyway, sidetracking again. So yeah, so with the M degree and traditional bags, you have this design here. So of course the end is kind of smaller where your head goes, because it's shaped around. With this one, it's more open at the top. So, you know, just be aware of that. You do have this big opening here, but it cinches up very nice. Last night was the first night that I used it, but it cinches up really nicely. I can still put my pillow in there. The pillow still held nicely, and I could still get that cinched up, you know, around me snug. And I had my nose and my mouth sticking out, and it was very comfortable. And obviously, as you can see, when it's cinched up, you know, it doesn't look massively different from there. So if you want a lightweight, you know, down sleeping bag, don't look at the prices. You know, these are very, very nice. It's a beautifully designed. I do like PhD stuff. It's so expensive. I have to save up my pocket money. They're both wide, so you can see they're pretty much exactly the same, you know, in size. There's really nothing in it, you know. It is the same. It's the same size there. What I like to do is I like to go for a short zip, because for me the zip is the place where you're going to get the, you know, the most cold coming through. I've tried long zips with double baffles and a PhD one, and I just found that cold got through. Maybe it was just me, but I like a short zip. Obviously with this one, with this you've got 3. This is the M degree one, and I think the foot box is the foot box I think is baffled. Can't tell. So yeah, I can't quite tell whether that's sewn through. I think it's sewn through, but I can't quite tell. But there's a lot of down in there. That's a very padded down foot there. As you can tell, you can see how light they are. It'd be helpful if I pointed at what we were looking at. I think PhD probably make the best sleeping bags in the world. I think Enlightened Equipment make very, 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 very good bags too. I think Enlightened Equipment is probably on their coattails, but I really do like PhD stuff, and of course you can get it customized to how you like it. It's just a lot of money. I had them sew on these little thick loops here for, you know, if you want to attach, you know, a waterproof or a water resistant foot end, you can, you know, it just adds a, you know, 5 grams or something. To be fair, I've never used them, I've never needed them, but I think for the want of a couple of grams. Nice zip on the side, you get one baffle on this with a little bit of down in there, and that works okay. I do find that the zips do sometimes snag on things, but you know, all zips do that. You get a Velcro thing there where you can secure the zip. In all the times I've had my PhD sleeping bags, and I've had them for 10-12 years now, to be fair, I've never used that. The zip never comes undoes. It's you know, it's a good solid zip. Yeah, but that was the main thing, because when I ordered this, I wanted a really lightweight sleeping bag, and I was just, you know, I was just surprised at the big open thing there, and I thought it was a bit too big. But once I kind of got my head around it, and I understood the design of it and everything, and that you can cinch it in pretty much exactly like the other ones, and it kind of then made more, it just made more sense to me then. Anyway, it's not really a review as such, just, you know, information for those passing. If you're interested, you know, PhD website. Anyway, thanks very much indeed for, you know, watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.